loved. Everyone else was really cool, and then Zoe Ventoura came in. She was such a diva. Are you going to sit down? No, are you going to stand? Okay. You didn't do that. Looks like you're on a tiny horse. My name is Zoe Ventoura. I'm from Perth in Western Australia. I studied to be a dancer, a contemporary dancer, and then I fell into music theatre for a few years, and then I was on stage in the ensemble of We Will Rock You, which was awesome, and I loved the show and I loved the cast. The nature of being the ensemble is you're kind of just a moving set, like you're just colour and movement, like, hey, and now we're doing this. I remember a moment on stage where I was just all of a sudden I was so frustrated that I had nothing to say. Like I wanted to, I don't know, burst out and tell a story or something. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to say stuff and be involved, and I wanted to get up and ruin the show. They would have fired me for sure. I was like, oh, maybe I should look into this and go and get some lessons and see what it's about. It hadn't bothered me up until then. I hadn't even thought of it. I'd done a few commercials and stuff like that, and they were really fun. I loved being on set. My first couple of film and TV auditions, I was stoked. In music theatre, you go into a massive room and there's a panel of like 10 people. TV or film audition, you're in a tiny space with a camera and a casting director, and it's so intimate rather than just having a couple of minutes to like up in front of your panel and then thank you very much, and then you walk out and cry yourself to sleep. It wasn't really like a big goal or a big dream. I'm like, one day I'm going to go to Hollywood. I started coming here kind of while I was still working, so I'd come and visit, and then I was a bit back and forth. I finished Rafters and I came over, but then I got offered Wild Boys, so I was going to be like setting up and moving, but then that took me back to Australia. I wouldn't say I was living here at that stage, although I wasn't living in Australia either. I don't know. I've been kind of a bit of a gypsy for a while. I could say Santa Monica now, but then next week, well, I'll go to Sydney, but then I'll be working in Brisbane, but then Daniel's in New Zealand, but then we're packing up our house here, so technically I don't. Right now I live in Santa Monica, but next week I will live nowhere. I mean, if you're successful, whatever that means to you, then this is what's going to happen. You know, like you're going to be apart from your partner, or you're not going to live where you live. It can kind of suck, but then also like, oh, well, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm doing, so how great. In some ways, it's all been unexpected. I didn't expect to like it, and then all of a sudden you do. I didn't expect to feel at home here ever, and then all of a sudden you do. I didn't expect it to be so hard, and it really is. There's good and bad because people don't know who you are, so you can be whatever you want to be, but then people don't know who you are, so and yet you start to feel comfortable with that, and that drives you. Yeah, you can't help but get caught up in that energy of everybody just kind of striving to be better and to make things and be creative. Really complicated, a complex city, doing what we do here. Everything and nothing. What? Shut up. Okay. This interview is going great, guys. Yes, definitely know what that is. Even saying it makes me feel cringy, you know. I'm going back home to do some work soon, which are all projects I'm really excited about and really proud of. But then there's this tiny bit of me that's worried about what people are going to say or how it's going to read. And there's always going to be some comments on the internet or in the media or some magazine. How's that going to come across? Yeah. And I guess that's what we're talking about. Being from there and coming here, generally I get the feeling that we are grateful to be working. We work hard, we show up on time, we do our work. I feel like that's a really good thing to have. It's a really healthy thing to have. Living here, you're in class, you're coaching, you're working out. It's really taught me to back myself. I love that it's pushed me to be better in that way. In Australia, if there's a brief and you go in for something, you're one of a couple people who are kind of right for it, or you pretty much know who's going to be there. But here you get here and there's just like rooms and lines down the hallway of people who just kind of look like you. Or super famous. Like, why are you even here? Do you even audition anymore? Oh my God, one audition, and it was the girl from Centre Stage. That film came out and I was at dance school at VCA, so I saw that film a lot. And then she walked into an audition and I was like, oh, that's that girl. I can't remember her name now. I wish I could. She walked out and one of the other girls goes, oh my God, I love that movie. That was my favourite movie. And then everyone else was like, oh my God, me too. I don't know if she got it, but of course she would. I mean, she's that girl from Centre Stage. Take your meetings on the front foot and audition on the back foot. And that stuck with me for some reason. It's in terms of like showing your personality and your confidence and everything in, you know, when you're meeting people, but then when you're auditioning just to chill, not to like push too hard. Orange is the New Black. But just because I just finished binging 2 series of it and I'm obsessed with it, can't think about anything else. Chocolate bullets. Eat chocolate bullets. I'm trying so hard not to eat them though. I've read so many good books this year. The Goldfinch, the Philip Pullman trilogy, his Dark Materials, it's called.
Awesome.
Yeah, I need to go back and reread them. They're beautifully done. NPR radio. Oh, I'm 100. But I really like it. It's so interesting. I feel like I get out of the car and I'm smarter. I'm obsessed with it. I've like liked it on Facebook.
Oh no, that's official.
I'm upset, but I'm not. I might need a break.
It's Amanda Scholl, by the way. Is that her name?
No, it's not.
She played Jodie Sawyer.
Oh, Jodie Sawyer.
Character's name.
Now I get why people call me Mel Rafter all the time. They don't know my real name. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry I cried.
Yes.
But it was from joy.